Hi, today I'm going to show you how to add parents and guardians to your homeroom roster. Recently, you should have received an email inviting you to your homeroom. I created those classrooms on behalf of Ms. Rezga, Mr. Daniello, and Ms. Reichertz so that there can be some communication from the office and from student council into your homerooms. What's nice also is that once you add all of the emails of the parents that are in your homeroom, all teachers who have Google Classrooms with any of those students will also see the email addresses as well. So basically, the emails will only have to be added one time. Okay, so before we begin, you need to first go to your dashboard. So I'm going to go type in Classroom. And you need to open up your homeroom classroom. I'm going to use a sample classroom, my Makerspace, because it already has students in it. And before you can start adding guardian emails, you need to make sure that all of your students have been invited to your classroom with the class code and joined your class. And in order to do that, click on the Students tab, and you have your invite code right here. And a nice little new feature is if you click the down arrow and go to display, it will display it in large size, and then you can go full screen so that it can be shown to the whole class at one time in a very large size. In the past, it was very tiny and it was hard for kids to see, so you can use this on your projector. When you're finished displaying the join code, you can just click the X, and then it will bring you back, and you should see all of your homeroom students here on your roster. So if you wind up on your stream to then invite the guardians, okay, you want to click on the student tab, and you'll notice next to each student's name it says invite guardians. So you're simply going to click on that, call the student up, have them or you type in the email address of their parents. Okay, so I'm just going to type in mine, and you can click on add another. So if they have multiple parents, both parents don't live together, you can do that. All right, and type in another one. And then when you're finished entering in the multiple addresses, just click invite. And it will take a second. That guardian is already invited. I typed in the same email twice. Let me fix that. Just put on my other email so that you can see what it looks like and hit invite. Now, on the parents' end, they're going to get an email saying you have been invited to the homeroom classroom of their child, and they will either accept it, and then they will have a chance to decide on what kind of email summaries. I'm going to show you that in a moment. However, let's say you made a mistake and you want to uninvite, or you type the email address in wrong, you can simply come over here and you can say remove guardians. And it does give you a warning when you go and you remove guardians, because it will be removed from all students' classes, even for classes that you don't teach. Like I said, once the email is entered, it goes and it populates throughout all the students' classes that student and the teachers that student has. So it's a nice feature. So I'm going to remove it because obviously I don't want email invites going to me for these particular students. So let me remove those. Okay, so once you have all of your parents invited, you then have the option of turning on, and it does default to off, guardian email summaries. I'm going to show you what a guardian email summary looks like. So right here under the Students tab, you have right here this little slide, and it says add class to guardian email summaries. Guardians receive a summary of their students' work and class announcements. So if you would like, you could add all of the classes you teach at once by checking this box, or let's say you have a club like, Intermedia, for example, and you don't necessarily want the parents seeing your Intermedia announcements and things. You only want to limit it to the academic classes that you teach. You would just uncheck that box, and you would manually go in and slide that over for each of the classes that you want the guardian email summaries to be available to parents, okay? And then you would just say add class. So I'm just going to say no thanks for now. Let's see an example. This is an example of what they're going to receive. I know some people were concerned exactly what goes out. Well, they will get email summaries that include missing work that's late at the time the email was sent, and they get these emails automatically, and they can unsubscribe, and they can either get the emails daily or weekly. They get to choose how often they want to get the emails, similar to Genesis updates or Power School updates. When we used to have that, they always had that choice. They also get to see upcoming work that's due today and tomorrow for the daily emails, or work that's due in the upcoming week if they're getting the weekly emails. And then they also get the classic activity announcements, assignments, and questions that were recently posted. And like I said, email summaries are by default turned off. So it's not like once these emails are entered, parents will automatically start seeing your class feed. You do have the option to turn them on. So let's just take a quick look at what a weekly summary looks like. It gives the date of the summary here. It says student work, and it tells you missing from last week, and it says when it was due, and it gives an overview of the assignment. And then next week, it tells them what's coming up next week and what is due. And then it also gives them some activity from the prior week, and it tells them the due dates and what was due. So it's a nice little way of keeping the communication lines open with the parents. And you can see here at the bottom, they can unsubscribe at any time to those summaries, but it's in their best interest to be receiving those summaries so that they are up on their students and making sure that their children are completing all of the work that the teachers are assigning. Another benefit to having these emails in there is that if you come over here under the students, you can, once you have an email in there, you can email that guardian right away. So right here next to Nick Gertzen last year, Maria Gertzen joined. I used him as a sample. You can email the student or you can email the guardians for that particular student by clicking. And when you click it, it will just open up your Google email, bring you right in, and the email is already entered and you can just start typing. So it is hooked up with Google in that way. The other thing you can do is, let's say you have an announcement for your whole class. You can just click and email all of the guardians in that particular class at one time. So if there's some announcement that you want to get out to the class, you don't have to worry about typing in each student's email, each parent's email, or each student's email separately. You can do that all at once, okay? As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to come to the Media Center.